Hey guys, I'm Blake from Hunts Marine. I just thought I'd quickly show you our new Cruisecraft 695 demo sitting behind me. We've just received this boat. It's loaded with options. We're going to run up and down the coast with it over the next few months, starting in a couple of weeks at Port Stephens. So I'll quickly show you the trailer and then we'll jump in the boat and have a squiz. Every Cruisecraft package comes on an easy tow trailer standard. We've chosen to upgrade this trailer to the aluminium version. We've also gone up a weight rating due to the fact that this boat is the first 695 with twin engines. Obviously adds a bit of weight. They come standard with a catch and release, comes standard with a spare wheel, stainless steel, or the aluminium version comes with stainless steel calipers. Four-wheel disc brakes, of course. We've added a tube for our riggers. Just our poles are easy to store and travel with if they're in a tube. One of my favourite small features on the trailer is the boat buckle system, standard on all easy tows with the Cruisecraft. If you press a button, let it retract, it's out of the way, launch your boat, come back, put your boat back on the trailer, bring it up, clip it on, do it up and you're done. Saves wear and tear of putting a boat strap over the top or losing your straps. Just haven't had any problems with them. They're stainless steel, you hose them out at the end of the day. They've been faultless for us. This boat's pretty special, guys. We've only had it in the water for 15 or 20 minutes, just an initial test. As I said, we're going to be running up and down the coast with it. So the big special part about it is the first one with twin engines. Twin white Yamahas, full Hellmaster, so full electric steer, digital throttle, digital control, joystick, Hellmaster. We'll jump in and have a look in a minute. Quick look at the hardware of what we have on the transom. Seakeeper rides, been a revolution in the last 12 months. Everyone wants them. If you have used them, you'll know why. We're lucky enough to play with them a fair bit, and we're putting them on most of our builds these days. Across the centre of the transom, I've got a couple of Ocean LED lights there, the larger version, super bright. There's various colours available. I think these ones are blue, and we'll see that in the future. You're obviously on this side, the other ride. If we look above that, up top, we've got our slimy tubes now, our style of fishing, live baiting, throwing baits at marlin. Slimy tubes are nearly a must. So they're all factory fitted. Everything on this boat is factory fitted. We'll jump on board and we'll go through it. The Hellmaster and electric or digital control engines does is really tidy up the transom and the well in the back of the boat here. Even with twin rigs, if you look down into this well, there's just two hoses that feed into the engine. There's no steering components, no steering hoses to get lines or to have damage caused to. The back here we've got a deck wash. This particular boat has a freshwater tank. I think it's 40 litres or thereabouts, so we can switch from salt to fresh depending on what we want in the day. A lot of the time we have this packed away. It's just hanging on display so we can show you guys. Just over the other side there is the top of the slimy tubes, and that's pretty much your transom. This boat we opted for their premium bait board. It's a fairly basic board. We often remove it if we're game fishing, which just slides out, so it's simple to remove. But when you have it there, it does have this liftable lid. You can put your knives and bits and pieces under there. Keeps them from flying away. There also is a vertical knife rack as well. A couple of rod holders we use for rigging. There's a hook on the end here for your deck wash. The deck wash simply clips out and can be put away at any stage. Below the board we have, what we think is the most important, or one of the most important things on our boats, live bait tank. Initially this bait tank was a bit smaller. The factory listened to us. We got it made a little bit wider. Now we can keep a lot of fish in there all day. Got a big window on the front, you can look at your fish, the kids love it. It's got a light in there for night time. Runs a pump through the hole, picks up underway of course, so keeps your bait nice and fresh all day long. So below your bait tank, we've got an access hatch. Down in here, it's fairly busy. Everything is inside the bilge, so including your transducers, which are actually built into the hull. We'll talk about them soon when we're up the front with the head units. But you've got your pumps in there. They all come through hull, so we've got a pump for your wells under the floor. You've got a pump for your deck wash. You've got a pump for your slimy tubes, a pump for your bait tank. So it is quite busy. All this stuff, factory fitted, all to the same level. It's all got valves in there. You can turn everything off and on independently. We've also run two heavy duty 1250 gallon per hour automatic bilge pumps in this boat. Either side of your bait tank, there's another hatch. You've got your battery. There's 3 batteries on board this boat. So we've got 2 cranking batteries and 1 house battery. They've all run through this panel here. Okay, so it's all right there. You can see what's happening. You've got your starboard motor, your port motor. your house battery, and then you've got your main circuit breaker. So your house is your main power to the dash. We've got an electric anchor winch up front, and this is a charging circuit. We run a twin charging circuit with the Yamahas. It is an option. The factory choose to do it as standard. It will really charge your batteries up nice and quickly. Just in the port side rear corner, touched on the water filler, okay, for your fresh water. Pop-up cleats standard. We've put an additional set midship, so just to tie off with. Down here there's a valve. That valve is where you run from salt water to fresh water through your deck wash, so you just choose one or the other. Here we have is a button here. It looks a bit funny, but it's a timed button. So basically, if you push that in with your leg, over here your water's coming out, you wash your hands, the button will come out automatically, pops out, stops, okay? It's just a hand wash. It's brilliant, okay? Particularly if you're using bait, you don't end up with blood all over the boat or stinky cloth. The thing you'll notice with this boat is, and nearly every cruise craft that comes out of the factory, they're all loaded with sea deck, okay? Sea deck's it's genuine sea deck. It's out of the States, very hard wearing. It is soft in your feet though. They do a brilliant job of machine cutting it so it matches everything on the boat. Comes like this from factory. Got it all over the transom where we were out there before, up the gunnels, and then all through the main floor. On the main floor here, there's two hatches. They're just mirrored, so they're exactly the same. If we open that, they're a kill tank. I've opted to have them so they can be pumped in, pump out, so meaning I can pump salt water into there. I can pump salt water out at any stage. We run an ice slurry in there sometimes. We've even run squid in there. If we've got fish in the live bait tank, we want to use some squid for bait, we'll put squid in there and just alternate in and out to keep the squid alive for the first couple of hours until we use them for bait. This was a game changer when it came to building this, or this particular build. It's just been put into their new 770 as well, which we'll have a lot more info on in the coming months or coming weeks. But it's the starboard side door, okay? If we just flick that down, open up, it gives us great access, not only swimming, but obviously fishing, taking photos of fish, bringing fish on board. Not just that, in the shed, loading the boat, putting stuff into the boat, allowing kids to get in a bit easier, it's a bit safer, it's away from the engines. So standard now on every boat. It doesn't look out of place, you don't have to lift it out, it just hinges back. It's got a really nice stainless handle here, and it locks shut there. Again, with our customer base and what they do with the boats, or the majority of them, not everybody, but majority want outriggers. So these are a factory fit Relax reef rigger. They're a wishbone style rigger. Basically pin out, fold them down, your pole's out ready to use. There's no lifting a pole off and turning it on the spline. Very easy to use. You don't have to be experienced to use them. Pops back in, you pop your pin back in, and you're ready to travel again. This boat is packed with Garmin. They're a factory partner with Cruise Craft, so everything on here is fitted at factory. It's tested at factory. It's then signed off by Garmin at factory, and then it's sent to us. Transducers, head units, autopilots. This particular one's got a sat compass, which give you more accuracy. Takes the heave out of the sounder, so actually gives you a flat bottom line when there is a flat bottom. Your big radar, it's a 24X radar, don't quote me on that, I think that's what it's called. And we've added a FLIR camera up there as well. So your FLIR camera is full night vision, it's full remote, so we can move that around, search and use it as a searching tool. It's also a thermal imaging camera. See the stainless work. Majority of Australian boats, unfortunately, buy their stainless from overseas, prefabbed, they bolt them on. It's not the quality you'll get in Australia. These guys choose to do it a different way. They have an in-house stainless workshop. They manufacture or make all their stainless all the same to suit their boats, but it's all made in-house. We can get it changed a little bit when we need to add stuff like this FLIR camera. We've put a nice plate on there. It's allowed us to bring everything up nice and neatly, have the FLIR camera at a good height. We've added a couple of spotlights or deck lights, factory option, to face down into the boat of a night, great for backing off the trailer, or obviously just to light up the deck. Just take you through the windscreen and the hard top in this boat. Start with colour. It's white is standard. We've opted for charcoal or black. I think this might be charcoal actually. Looks a bit black at the moment in this shade, but what we have opted for is we've upgraded the stereo from the Standard Fusion. Standard Fusion's a good unit. We've just added a bit of bling for our demo boat. It's a little bit higher performing unit. We've got twin Garmin. So one Garmin VHF is standard. We've opted for another one. If you're tournament fishing or you want to monitor 2 channels properly, we run two units. So those units obviously don't have a mic up there. Your mics are down near the wheel. This one's accessible by your port side passenger, and your other mic's over there on the right hand side of the helm. Got a couple extra handles. So you've got a handle port and starboard up high. You can never have too many handles. And then we've got a standard interior light here, which is a dimmable light. It's also got a nighttime function, which is a stealth light. And then we have our awning that Cruisecraft are fairly famous for. Something, again, they stainless guys build in-house, and their trimmer finishes it off. Great if it's a hot day, but also we get those summer storms rolling through, and just gives the guys, if there's 4 of us fishing, gives the guys a little bit more protection. You don't stay dry for too long in a storm out at sea, but it definitely helps. 2 speakers are housed up the top, they're factory, and we run a second set of speakers down low in the side panels, port and starboard. Just touching on the actual windscreen. So we've gone away from the curved screen, which has been through many brands that we're all sort of used to. This screen here was fabricated and designed and fabricated for Cruisecraft for this boat. Okay, they've run this same screen or a larger version in the next boat, and I'd say we might see it in future boats as well. What it's done is given the boat a much stiffer platform to put your hardtop on. It's full plate aluminium, okay, so you can see the strength in the plate and the bolts holding this thing together. It doesn't rely on stainless steel stanchions holding the roof up. The screen and the screen frame gives the strength. It's been a game changer. There's no window problems. The windows on the side open and close with ease. Okay, you get a lot of fresh air through these. The guys are worried about the hotter months and worried about not getting air through. These give a massive amount of air. Right, port side side panel, little hidey hole, bits and pieces there. There are the taglines for our riggers. Got a couple of sockets up here, USB and 12-volt socket. There's a switch here. That switch actually runs this little pie oven, and people used to think they're a gimmick until they use them, and there's nothing wrong with some hot food halfway through or even of a morning out at sea. It's a simple way to heat something up. Put it on in the morning, a couple of hours later you've got some nice warm food. Just below the pie oven we have a safety feature. It's not a small extinguisher like in most boats. It's a 2.5 kilo extinguisher. It's got its own little housing or hole it sits in. It's there. It's obviously something we don't want to ever have to use, but if you are going to use one, you want something with a bit of grunt, and that's what is there. On the left hand side of that, we just have a removable panel. Gives us access inside the side pocket up the top there. You can also use it for storage if you like, but it's mainly for an access panel. So just in front of the passenger seat, we've got a little glove box, lockable. Good to throw your wallet, keys and whatnot in. They always end up pretty full, pretty chockers. At the end of the day, you're digging around trying to find things, but it's great to have. You've got a nice padded dash. It's something new to the 695, and it's flowed on into their new 770. We've opted for a couple of sounders, which I'll come back to, but one is sitting up on that middle of the dash there. Got a hard enclosed door, standard on this boat. It's lockable, so you can lock your rods in there overnight. You're tying your boat up at the marina. It gives you a bit more security. We'll get into the cab soon. Moving across to the actual dash and the functions on the dash. There's a lot of standard stuff here, but I'll quickly run through what's what. Stress-free winch. Most people are familiar with your winching, your anchor winching. This is a free fall version, so if you want to get your anchor quickly down, you can press the free fall and the anchor will deploy and get down to the bottom as quick as it can. Your CL5 gauge, which is the Yamaha gauge, gives you all your diagnostics on your Yamaha, including your fuel burn. We can also double that up on any of the Garmin screens. It's all integrated. Wipers, one wiper standard. We've opted for 2 wipers, so one port and starboard, and then you've got your center button, which is your washer bottle. So your washer bottle, obviously you have fresh water in there. Wipers are great, raining or keeping the spray away. Being a flattish screen, wipers work really well and cover the majority of the screen. A lot of those curved screens, you only get a small window where the wiper actually will wipe away the water. Every boat comes now with a cordless phone charger. Clip your phone in there, Bluetooth your music, keeps charged, it's in front of you. Some people run the maps off their phone. There are a lot of apps you can use as well. So that's standard in there. You can choose where to put that. This being a 16-inch screen. It does take up the majority of the dash. You can run a larger screen. Garmin do offer a 22-inch, I think it is. We've opted for the 16 and the secondary 12 on my left there. Below the screen, we've got our mic, which I touched on before. And so switch panel just below here, guys. We've opted for, it's got white lights under the gunnels as well as blue strip lighting under the gunnels down both sides. You've got rear lights facing on the hardtop facing backwards, which I showed you when I was up top there. Bilge pump override, so your bilge pumps are automatic. They'll come automatically. If for some reason that function failed, you can turn them on manually. Then you've got your anchor light and your navigation lights. Across the other side here, this is the real good stuff. So if we just have a look, we've got a autopilot, we've got a joystick, and we've got our twin binnacle control box. So that's what the Helmaster EX is all about. Your Helmaster product, particularly with, you can run it with singles, but particularly with twins, is just a game changer. My favourite part of it, because we do a lot of offshore fishing, a lot of driving throughout the day, the engines don't really get shut down. Trolling lures, trolling baits is the autopilot. If we're heading along and we just want to keep our course, we just press this button here, heading hold, and it will just keep going in a dead straight line. Being an electric steer, it is so accurate. It blows away any hydraulic driven autopilot that I've used. Just in front of the joystick here, guys, a little bit hard to see, is a stop-start system for the engines, port and starboard. There's no key, okay, so there's no turning key, it's pressing a button. So you turn the system on and you press a button to fire it up. It does, however, have a security device. It's a keyless or an immobiliser, so when you jump off the boat, leave your boat in the water, you can press a button, lock it all, so no one can jump on your boat and just start your engines. So it's standard now on every cruise craft with a digital shift engine. So here we have the twin binnacle control box. It is a super easy control box to use, even being dual control. Being fly-by-wire, there's no resistance, no cable resistance. It's easy to bring it down to full throttle to keep them synced. The engines will actually sync themselves, knowing that they're being used together. If we come back into neutral and just press single lever, we can drive both engines off the one control and make it even more simple. Up and down, when we use this trim button, it's trimming both engines up and down at once together. If you want to individually trim on the front here, we can individually trim the engines. There's a lot more features to this. We'll talk about it a bit more when we're on the water. In front of that, we've got a joystick for the Helmaster. So this thing is awesome with twin engines. Really good with single, but it goes to another level, obviously, being able to utilise twin gearboxes, one in neutral, or one in forward, one in reverse. Simple as pushing this forward will make the boat go forward. Pushing it forward and twisting it this way will make the boat go forward and turn to the port side. Pulling it across will make the boat crab directly to our port side. Likewise for the other side. If we pull up in the marina and we're waiting for boats to be retrieved and there's a line up and you just want to hold your spot, if you just press fish point, press that button, it will lock us on that GPS mark with these engines, pulling it in and out of gear, and it won't move off the spot. So just below our control box and our joystick, we've got the second mic for your VHF. Below that, there's an EPIRB. So EPIRB standard on every boat. The EPIRB's got its own housing. We've got an access door down here as well. The comfort side of it, I guess, these are a captain's chair. They're their upgraded chair. They're a bolstered seat, so they come down. If you want to stand up, which a majority of people do while underway, you can bring that up, give the captain a lot more room without having to pull the seat back, so we get more room at the back of the boat as well. We've got a really good handle on the rear here, so we generally run with two passengers, one either side, holding on to that, and also above the standard seats, they've got a really nice armrest. Standard on all cruise crafts, we've got our stainless steel seat frames. Our seats are obviously attached to them. Every seat is on a swivel, which is locking. It locks at every 45 degrees all the way around, and then they've got a seat slide as well. This allows us to put an ice box, fish bag, just general bags or luggage underneath. This boat, we've got one ice box in. They're an Australian-made Evercool box. They come from the factory, matching upholstery. Quick look inside the cabin, guys. This cabin's got the full infill. There is a cushion, a board and cushion goes across here. We spent a few nights sleeping in these boats. There's plenty of room in this cabin. Underneath this center cushion here is an electric toilet. Okay, so that's a macerating toilet. So basically, there's no holding tank, there's no yuckness. It's just basically flush and gone. Okay, that's an option we put in all our larger cruise crafts. You can see up the top there the headlining. There's no exposed fiberglass. Got great access to your back of your dash and your switch paneling, your wiring, your fuses are all labelled in there as well. Plenty of storage either side and around the backrest there for your jackets and yeah, your odds and ends. This boat, I touched on the door before, it's a roller door, it's hidden inside the dash, it's not awkward or it doesn't take anything away from the boat as far as cosmetically. We just close this door and it locks like that. It's missed before with the electronics, our switch paneling down the back here, so yeah, things like your deck wash, your live bait tank, your kill tanks, pump in switch, pump out switches, your transom lights, your slimy tubes, are all switched from down the back. Just easy to reach, all waterproof switching, easy access. It's a great spot for them. For the tech guys who'd like to know exactly what sonar or electronic package we have on this boat, I'll quickly go through and I'll try to remember. There is a fair bit of gear and I don't have a list in front of me, but I did order it, so I've got no excuses. 84 series, so top of the range, 84 series 16 and 12. Okay, we're running a GSD 28 sonar module. It improves the sonar. Transducer wise, we're running a pocket mount. Now, people say through hole, say in hole, say transom mount. Pocket mount's not really as well known. Basically, it's the sonar, the transducer built into the fiberglass. So underneath the boat, if you run your hand along the bottom of the planing stroke, there is no bump. You know, it's a clean edge. So we've got what they call a PM 175 high, wide, low. So it runs a high, wide frequency, which which is a full chirp transducer, everyone's familiar with. You've got your low for your deep drop or your deeper waters. That's built into one. It's an awesome transducer by itself. It's a transducer that I just use by itself a fair bit. However, on this particular boat, being a demo, we've opted to have their new Penoptics transducers, which is a PS70. It's a triple beam sonar. So we've got just a demo up here. It will shoot, I think it's up to 125 degree spread, which is massive. So you get sonar out both sides of the boat, obviously below. If you're looking for fish on bait or just bait, it's a game changer. We can't wait to go and use it. Coupled with the sonar setup, you've got your GPS side of these units, and then you can use any display on either screen, GPS or sonar or radar, which I'll come to, autopilot. This is relief shading, which is standard on these boats. You can see the bottom contour. This is just off Wollongong. You can see the bottom contour here and how detailed it has been charted. It's getting more developed as we go along. It's updatable, but it is standard on this unit. If we come through to here and we come across, we've got radar. Up on the roof there's a radar. It's ready to transmit. If I turn it on, it will wind up, start spinning up as it says there, and it will start detecting what's around us. You can overlay that onto your GPS map. So overall, you don't get much better in the way of electronic setup, particularly on a trailer boat. It's amazing to see it functioning. With this boat running demos over the next month or 2 months, more than welcome to jump on board. We can show you in real time how it all works, including the Hellmaster setup, the autopilot, the radar, the PS70 transducer, all the other goodies on this boat. Up next to the radar on the roof, or behind the radar, we mentioned the FLIR camera. It doesn't work as well during the day, but we will show you. If you look out the front of the windscreen here, you can see there's the highway out there, there's cars whizzing past. We come down onto the screen, there's our night vision, which would be even clearer. Sounds funny, but it'd be even clearer at night time. We can scroll around, up and down. If we start looking up at the clouds, you can see the birds flying through the air there. It is a brilliant safety device, navigating at night. It's a great search device, and it's becoming more and more popular on smaller boats. That's about it, guys, for now. And we already have started putting some stuff on our Hunts Marine Wollongong socials, or Hunts Marine socials, where this boat will be. Just to quickly recap where it will be, or go over where it will be if I can remember. Or this month, 14th of Feb. We're up at Port Stephens. We're going to fish a shootout with this boat, also with a 770. So we've borrowed the factory demo 770, that will be there. On the Monday after that, we'll be doing demos out of the marina there. Heading to Coffs Harbour the day after, Port Macquarie the day after that. Come back here for a few days, then we head to Sydney for Botany Bay. We'll be in Botany Bay for a day. In between this, call me or get on our socials, email us, whatever, and put your name down, because if you can't make one of those days, we'll make it happen. We'll get you on the water down here, or we might be able to fit you in somewhere else up north.